It doesn't really happen often that two hostile countries do a crazy dance routine together. But that is exactly what's happening here. Well, let me take you to the beginning. This is India, and this is Pakistan. And what's up here? Well, let's just not talk about that. India and Pakistan were once forcefully joined together under the British crown. A crown literally decorated with jewels mined right here. With the collapse of the British Empire, the two nations became independent. And what's the first rule of independent nations? You need to have borders separating you from the rest of the world. So the two new states sat down and demarcated a border that we're both happy with, and who am I kidding, it was drawn by some British dude who knew less about South Asia than a backpacker who just landed in New Delhi. Anyway, his name was Cyril Ratcliffe, a British lawyer who before his appointment never travelled east of Paris and who couldn't wait to leave India ASAP once he actually got there. And this guy was charged with the immensely complicated task of deciding where the line separating India and Pakistan will be. Under time pressure and with zero local knowledge, but ultimately aware of the task's complexity, his approach was, "Oh, there's no way to do this right, so let's just get it over with." It resulted in a bloodbath. To his credit, after witnessing how disastrous his border turned out to be, Cyril Ratcliffe refused to accept his salary. So now, India and Pakistan had a border they needed to defend, and defending they did. The tensions remain high, smuggling of contraband ever-present, and cross-border skirmishes common. It is now one of the most heavily guarded borders in the entire world. But amidst all the smuggling and fighting, this is happening. For the past 61 years, the Atari Wagah border crossing hosted a ceremony which marks down closing of the border. What makes that interesting is A, it is organized by two nuclear-armed powers that don't really see an eye to eye at this moment, or like ever, and B, a signature part of this ceremony is a dance battle with high kicks, crazy hats, respect-commanding mustaches and deadly stare contests. Although this border is actually visible from space, unlike the Great Wall of China, to witness this event, you need to travel to either the village of Wagah in Pakistan or Atari on the Indian side of the border. The ceremony dates back to 16th century England, and it was meant to call soldiers back to the castle after sundown. Here, the exercise takes place almost every day since 1959, although it was interrupted on 3 occasions in 1965 and 1971 due to increasing antagonism between the two countries, and lately in March 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was, however, not interrupted during the Kargil War in 1999, and even during the increased tensions in 2016, the ceremony continued, but there were no spectators on the Indian side, and the soldiers did not exchange sweets across the border during Diwali. There are different roles in this spectacle. To get the crowd going, there's a cheerleader who leads the nationalistic chants repeated by the audience. Next, we have the usual border patrols. Although usual might be an understatement, since these guys look really badass. And then we have the main stars of the show, the soldiers who take part in the actual ceremony. Marching in a so-called goose march, term used for standard parade marching, only there's nothing standard about this really, this is quite an extreme form of marching. 2 units participate in this extravaganza, the Border Security Forces and the Pakistani Rangers, both primarily responsible, unsurprisingly, for the actual border security. But to be chosen for this job, you need to show certain qualities not necessarily attainable by training, like being very tall or having the ability to grow facial hair. And the soldiers go through a rigorous selection process, followed by a brutal training that lasts almost 2 years. Those who are successful get to do this: a 30-minute battle without firing a single shot, a ritualistic face-off, as if both armies selected the tallest, hunkiest soldiers with the biggest mustaches and let them fight over and over again instead of dragging their whole countries into war. The whole spectacle is arousing nationalistic sentiments on both sides of the border. Audiences shout cries like "Hail Mother India" or "Long live Pakistan." And even though the display looks aggressive, I would actually argue it symbolizes an exemplary cooperation between the two countries. Just the simple fact that Pakistan and India decided to do this retreat, that for 61 years soldiers from both sides practiced their routine almost daily, and that they together deliberate on changes to the choreography, knowing full well that the whole thing only makes sense if it is in perfect sync. All this shows that below the antagonism of nationalistic display, far more profound and meaningful elements of collaboration are hidden. For a foreign spectator who doesn't really have a stake in either side, these elements are much more intriguing. You are witnessing two nuclear powers that are openly hostile to each other and routinely engage in armed confrontations, doing a funny dance. So you, and frankly the rest of the world with you, hope that the nuclear dance-off will never escalate into an all-out nuclear war. Because it's not like we were ever close to that, right? Since 1947, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientist has published the Doomsday Clock, a reminder of how close we are to destroying our world with the technologies we created. Since the clock's inception, it has moved 27 times closer to midnight, the time we're all fucked. And tensions between India and Pakistan were mentioned 4 times among the reasons we're getting closer to doomsday. For the last time in 1998, when both countries tested their nuclear weapons just 3 weeks apart. But you don't lose hope, because you just noticed something. It happens briefly twice during the ceremony, and I didn't even see it the first time I was there. The second time, I had a much better view and camera, and there it was. At the beginning and at the end, the two soldiers leading the retreat shake their hands. I overheard one Indian visitor saying, "Give me a gun and I will shoot them all." I don't know how many people around share that sentiment, but one thing is clear, that's the exact opposite of what's happening at this border. No one is shooting anyone, guns are holstered, and the whole tussle is about who can do the dance better, who can kick the highest, and who has the fanciest mustache. But remember the piece of land up there? The one I didn't want to talk about? Up there, soldiers of the same armies are openly attacking each other, and have been doing so for decades. There are no handshakes in Kashmir, but they are here. The ultimate sign of respect, briefly connecting the two countries over a line in the sand. A line that caused so much suffering on both sides and which was demarcated a long time ago by an ignorant representative of an occupying force, a dying empire, unable to sustain its presence any longer. I know I suffer from hopeless idealism, but I do believe that handshakes can overpower aggression, especially since declarations of war and mutual hostilities are properties of politics, while the suffering is inherently human. Good luck to you, India and Pakistan, and thank you for watching. Hello everyone, I hope you found that video at least a little bit interesting. I know it's a complex and difficult subject, so if I got anything wrong, just let me know in the comments, which I suppose you already did. And if you're still here, you might as well consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. The next one will be about trains in Sweden, so if you want to catch that one, just press the subscribe button. I think you already know where to find it. Thank you so much for watching. To bylo docela dobrý.